because ultimately losing weight is about being able to live, and I'm not going to stop living just so that I can lose weight. Hi, my name's Mindy and I have ADHD. Lovin'. I'm just so tired.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. Let's go get our life together.
I've been climbing this hill so long. Every step feels like a fight. Sweat drips down, but I'm still here, chasing shadows in the light. The mirror don't see the miles I've run, the battles fought that I've never won. Step by step I'm moving on, even when it feels all wrong. The weight's not just what's on my frame, it's in my heart, it's in my brain. But I'll get there, oh I'll get there, step by step. Every meal's a whispered choice, every thought a screaming voice saying, stop now, you've done enough. But giving up just ain't my stuff. I'm learning the pace of my own heart. Falling down's just another start. Step by step I'm moving on, even when it feels all wrong. The weight's not just what's on my frame, it's in my heart, it's in my brain. But I'll get there, oh I'll get there.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's Wednesday already.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mindy, and I have lost some weight over the last several years. We'll get into exactly how much later in the video. And I just wanted to spend the day together today. Several people have asked me if I'm still using the vibration plate. As you guys saw, I am. I haven't been super consistent with it since I came back from California. I'm still trying to settle back in. I'm still really tired. I'm still just kind of feeling a little bit off. This weekend, I was actually feeling like I was getting kind of sick. Not feeling that so much anymore. I'm just kind of really tired, trying to get my ish together, you know? But the vibration plate, I've noticed that when I don't use it, I definitely feel a lot more bloated. I'm still working on getting off some bloating and water weight from when I was in California. I currently am on my period, so I'm bloated in general right now. Today, I thought we would do some meal planning together. It's Wednesday, and that's the day that all the new ads come out. I've been shopping a lot more at ALDI because the price of food has been problematic, and they tend to have some of the best sale prices, but because they have some of the best sale prices, their sale items tend to sell out by the time I'm grocery shopping on Friday or Saturday. So we're gonna try going today. I just had my meeting with my dietitian, which is the first time I've talked to her I saw her last week. Like I said, guys, things have been kind of a blur since we got back. Last week, Richard applied for some fuel hauler jobs. We still haven't heard anything back from those, but we're keeping fingers crossed that we do. If anyone works for or knows anyone that works for Circle K, hit a girl up, because we need to get him out of the job that he's in right now. Fuel hauling seems to be the best option for both income and home time, and his job right now is so sporadic and all over the place, and just, yeah, we need to change. I've been getting back into routines okay. I did 2 workouts last week. I've already been to the gym once this week. Starting to feel a little bit stronger. Last week, I'll tell you what, I was sore for 4 days after doing squats on Thursday last week. So that's not desirable, but I did more squats yesterday and I'm not feeling as bad today. Did I do squats yesterday? No, I didn't. I did deadlifts yesterday, but I did some other things that were PRs for me. PR, by the way, is a personal record. Just starting to kind of get back into that groove again and starting to try and feel like I'm doing the right things. It's really hard as someone who has been on a weight loss journey for such a very long period of time and not seen a ton of results lately. Obviously, I'm not doing 100% of the right things 100% of the time, but it's really hard when my weight loss journey started with like such amazing results. Like I lost 65 pounds in 6 months. And pretty much since stopping Wegovy in that initial 6-month run, even though I've continued to see weight loss, it's been very up and down, very extended, very just kind of all over the place. And it's really hard to stay motivated through all of that. I know that the end goal shouldn't be the weight loss, it should be the health, but a big part of being healthy for me is weighing less. And it is a goal, you know, with being like making your journey so public and out there for the whole world to see. It's really hard to not just be justifying it to yourself, but to the world essentially as to why your weight isn't going anywhere and everyone kind of having an opinion about that and wanting to share that opinion with you. But the reality is that you guys are only with me for 20 to 30 minutes a week, seeing a very short screenshot of what my week looks like. And talking to my dietitian, yeah, I don't do it perfectly all the time, but the little slip-ups that I have and the little things that I do shouldn't be enough to make that kind of a difference in my weight, if that makes sense. Ultimately, a journey isn't going to be destroyed by one or two small choices. It's those choices that kind of avalanche and continue to compound over time. It's that consistency. You know what I mean? Whether good or bad. So the good consistency yields good results. The bad consistency yields bad results. While I had a couple of weeks of vacation where I wasn't, living for my health journey, I'm going to have some weight gain to recover from. I'm not going to make my life about my weight loss journey. I refuse to, because ultimately losing weight is about being able to live. And I'm not going to stop living just so that I can lose weight. Anyway, let's get on with the day and take a look at what's on sale at ALDI. I know it's been a while since I last walked through kind of like my meal planning process with you guys. We are on a pretty tight grocery budget. I try to keep our groceries to under $100 a week for my husband and I. So I'm on the ALDI website. I like looking at the ad because it's just kind of all in one place. And then of course we're nearing Thanksgiving time, so turkey is 77 cents a pound. It looks like they have raspberries for $1.79 for a 6-ounce package. They have Honeycrisp for $2.29 and they come in a 2-pound bag. I like it better when they come in the bags because the apples are more reasonably sized. I saw this, sometimes you need eat a whole apple, and they did like a Snickers version of that with an apple. I can make a higher protein version of that with my protein peanut butter dip, and instead of peanuts, maybe my honey roasted cashews. I think I could make something happen. I think it would be delicious. So I'm gonna add those to my list. Oops, something was on the keyboard. They also have mushrooms for $1.29 per 8-ounce package. I don't know if that's better than what they are at my H-E-B. Don't assume that just because something's on sale, that means it's cheaper. The 8-ounce packages of mushrooms at my H-E-B are $1.39. So this is actually cheaper. And then we get into the meat, and the meat is where I usually find the best prices. So this is Purdue antibiotic-free family pack chicken wings for $2.29 a pound. And I feel like that's considerably better than what I usually find chicken wings for. Yeah, $3.99 a pound. Bone-in short ribs for $7.29 a pound. That's a really good price. And it's not pulling them up, which makes me think that it's highly likely that they will not be at my store. Y'all, apparently I picked the wrong week to show this to you because it is not cooperating. They've got all the baking stuff on sale. So $2.49 a can for the cherry pie filling. They've got flour, sugar, brown sugar, powdered sugar, all the sugar. Wow, that's a really good price. Chopped walnuts, $2.79 for a half a pound of walnuts is pretty darn good. And you don't have to chop them yourself. And that's it for this week. It's kind of sad. And then there's this price drops section. So you can click on that, and sometimes I'll find things that are just like regular pantry staple type things that I normally keep on hand that I may not use in this week's meal plan, but buying them when they're on sale makes my future grocery trips less expensive. These sliced cheeses are a really good price for $1.75 for 7.5 ounces. The 8-ounce pack of sliced Munster cheese, for example, at HEB is $2.98, and this is $1.75. This is the granola that I eat every morning on my yogurt parfaits. I only do 15 grams of this, which is like a half a serving. The macros on these are pretty decent. So it's 10 grams of protein for 210 calories. That's 19% protein, which is actually really good for a granola. It's also very affordable. It's $2.65 for 11 ounces. This is also 11 ounces, but I pay about $5 for this. I get it on Subscribe and Save through Amazon, so it's often with my discount around $4.50. But obviously $2.65 is quite a bit cheaper. A serving of this is 30 grams or a third of a cup. A serving of the Millville Oats and Honey is a half a cup or 55 grams. That's 3.8 calories per serving on the Millville versus 5 calories per serving for this. So this is actually higher calorie per gram, and it has less protein. So I'm gonna try that Oats and Honey, and we'll see if I like it, because if I like it more, it's cheaper and it has better macros. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a new favorite. And for $2.65, it's worth trying. Oh yeah, they have several different flavors. They have an oats and dark chocolate and a cranberry and almond, which is very Thanksgiving-y. Oh, they have their 3-pound bags of sweet potatoes on sale for $1.95. I will probably pick one of those up. I really like their bags of sweet potatoes because the sweet potatoes are a really good size for like an individual servings. Like, you know how normally when you buy them by the pound in the grocery store, they're like giant sweet potatoes like this. When you buy them in the 3-pound bags, they're about like this. Like, they're perfect for a single portion of sweet potato, and I love sweet potatoes. All right, guys, I'm gonna mess around with this, see what else is on sale at the other places, and maybe try to put together some semblance of a meal plan. I'm just gonna kind of search around through my recipes that I have saved on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, all those places, and see what I can't find. Also search through my freezer and see what kind of meat I have in there so that I can figure out what I want to throw together. Really, that's the best way to cook within a budget, is to plan your meal plan for what's on sale instead of just making a meal plan and then trying to make that fit within your budget, especially when you're eating a high protein diet, because, you know, that can get really costly. So I'll see you in a bit. No, I didn't just come home from the grocery store and have to pee so bad that I left all the groceries on the counter and then completely forget that I had groceries and doom scroll for 20 minutes while they were sitting on the counter. Hi, my name's Mindy and I have ADHD. Anyway, I thought we'd do a good old-fashioned grocery haul, because let me tell you, I was not the only one that had the idea to go to ALDI on a Wednesday because that's the day that the sales go live. Nope, I sure wasn't. Also, why were there so many people at ALDI at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday? That's what happens when you live in a town that's full of mostly retirement age people, I guess. As is the case when you go to ALDI, I found some of the things I went there to get. A lot of the things that I went there to get, they didn't have. And I found a bunch of other things that I ended up getting instead. As expected, they did not have the short ribs that I was hoping for. They did have the chicken wings, but they were not the chicken wing pieces like they were in the picture. They were the whole wings. And I do not like separating wings. It's a pain in the butt. It's way more trouble than it's worth. Anyway, here we are. I'm rambling. Woo! I did pick up those mushrooms that were on sale. I'm gonna be using these in a recipe that I found on TikTok last week that I was way too excited about. It was a creamy chicken orzo recipe. I'm not gonna be using orzo though. I'm gonna be using farro instead. I'm working on increasing my fiber intake because constipation is a thing. If you're on a GLP-1, you know how bad it is. Guess what? It happens on Vyvanse too. So I thought I would escape it by getting off of Wegovy, but no, still an issue. And honestly, fiber is good for you anyways. Pasta doesn't have a whole lot of fiber in it. So I will either replace some or all of the pasta with some farro, which is a Italian grain. It should be a very fun texture. The recipe calls for zucchini, and I'm not a big fan of cooked zucchini. It just gets real mushy. I'm not a fan of the texture. I like grilled zucchini though. Wow, I am rambly today. I got mushrooms. That's the thing that I did. I also picked up some of their Friendly Farms low-fat Greek yogurt. It's not non-fat like my 000. The Oikos 000 has gotten real expensive. I'm paying like $6.29 a container, $6.50 a container now, and I go through at least one of these a week. That's a lot for yogurt. And the macros are similar. They're not as good. So the Oikos 000 is 100 calories, 0 grams of fat, 8 grams of carbs, 17 grams of protein versus 90 calories, 2 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, so actually lower in carbs. That's interesting. And this one only has 14 grams of protein. So 3 grams fewer of protein, but 10 less calories. So this one is still higher in protein density, but if this tastes good, then this is a viable option to swap these out to save a little bit of money. If you've ever had this before, let me know what you think. I'll let y'all know when I get into it because I still have a little bit in here and a whole other one in my fridge. So I just picked it up because I was there, y'all, and it was on sale. And it's good until the middle of December, so it'll get eaten before then, I promise. How much was that yogurt? $4.99. I got a couple things of sliced cheese. These were on sale for $1.75 a package, so I picked up some Munster and some provolone. I'm probably gonna make some sandwiches next week for lunch. I have some protein pretzels and some of the Atkins protein chips that I can use to eat through. Probably pick up some fresh veggies to do like a veggie situation, and or I'll just put a bunch of veggies into the sandwich, or I'll make a side salad. Who knows? Again, this was a very loose meal plan just so that I could pick up things from Aldi. I'll finalize everything later. Aldi has a bunch of different kinds of chicken sausage that I've heard good things about. It's from a brand called Never Any. No antibiotics, no hormones, and they're fed a vegetarian diet, apparently. No nitrates, no nitrites, no artificial preservatives, gluten-free, blah, blah, blah. I got 2 of the tomato basil ones for my farro sausage creamy whatever bake thing. The recipe only called for a pound. These are 12 ounces each, so we're gonna do 1.5 pounds. I'm gonna do 2 of them to make it a little higher in protein. But these are very low in calorie. Per link, 160 calories, 14 grams. So that's not that great. Did I not look at these before I bought them? I was just like, oh, this is fantastic. Look at me. They're okay. They're not great macro-wise, but price-wise, they were on sale for $2.89 a package. So I sure did pick up a whole bunch of these because like the Idels, which is the same amount, 12 ounces, they're like $5-6 a package. They're crazy expensive. They're nowhere near this cheap, even when you buy them in bulk at Costco. Hopefully these are tasty. I also bought a spinach and feta one, a mild Italian style chicken sausage, and I got a chicken apple sausage to see how this compares to the Idels. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those for $2.89 each. I picked up a container of rotisserie chicken breast. This was $5.69 for a pound. Kind of like the Oscar Mayer ones that you get, but just way cheaper. I don't know why, but I prefer the rotisserie chicken to turkey. I just like it better. To replace the thing of Boursin cheese, which that stuff is expensive as heck, they had this chive and onion whipped cream cheese on sale for $1.75. So I picked it up. They had a bunch of other flavors too. They had like a garden vegetable and a mixed berry and a jalapeno. Laughing Cow would have better macros, but Laughing Cow is not going to be as creamy as this. And also it would be way more expensive. For sandwiches, I picked up Lovin, however you want to say that. This lay oven bread, I got 12 grain. I was gonna get the 100% whole wheat, but this looked better. 3 grams of fiber per slice, 100 calories per slice. And it's like the big slices and it feels pillowy. I was gonna try to make my own bread. I made my own bread last weekend. It actually went pretty well, but I haven't tried making whole wheat bread. And this is gonna have a lot more fiber and happiness in it, and it'll last longer than me making my own. Plus this was on sale for $2.49 for the loaf. So I'm good with that, and it means I don't have to bake bread this weekend. Sometimes quality of life is something you have to consider when making a budget. Quick tip to keep your bread fresh, don't put it in the fridge because it'll dry it out. Lay it out on like a cookie sheet or a roasting pan and freeze it, like the individual slices, and then put it back in the container. You can toast it straight from frozen or just let it defrost on your countertop and it's good as new. It doesn't affect the hydration or anything, I mean, unless you leave it in there long enough to get freezer burned. It'll keep it nice and fresh for you so that you don't have to worry about it going moldy and you don't have to worry about it getting dry in the fridge. I told y'all I was getting that protein oat and honey. It looks an awful lot like, you know those, why can I not remember the brand? It's in the green package, those little oat and honey crunchy granola bars. It looks a lot like that, but crunched up. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Maybe this will help save us a few bucks a month. A lot of the stuff that's in here is not for next week. It's for because it was on sale and to stock my pantry. I got a couple cans of pumpkin because it's fall and I've been enjoying using pumpkin in baked goods like the muffins and breads and pancakes and deliciousness. So I will use these. Restocked on some honey roasted cashews. If you have never tried these, they're so good. And they're on sale right now for like $3.99 a bag. Both me and my husband love these. And again, I'm thinking about doing that Snickers apple situation, but instead of peanuts. My husband loves brown gravy. I don't love making brown gravy from scratch. So this was quick and easy. They were on sale for 29 cents. So this is also a really quick like seasoning for like if you want to do a roast. It was cheap. My husband and I both love poutine and they have fantastic cheese curds at Aldi as well. So every once in a while I will make some poutine at home with that kind of brown gravy. I like the packaged brown gravy. I think it's delicious. The chicken and turkey one, but the brown gravy. This is a jar of tart cherries, Morello cherries, I believe. Yes, Morello cherries. I'm working on building my menu for Thanksgiving and I ran across a Nantucket pie and it's like cranberries and walnuts with like a cake crust. But somebody in the comments said they did it with tart cherries, like these kind of tart cherries from Aldi and pistachios. And when I tell you that my whole body spasmed at that, that's gotta happen. In the comments, everybody was like, oh my gosh, I can never get those cherries at my Aldi. And they had a whole flat of them. So I picked one up because for Thanksgiving, I'm probably gonna make that cherry pistachio thing. If I don't make it for Thanksgiving, I'll make it for Christmas. Yum. I needed to restock on poultry seasoning for Thanksgiving, and this was $1.19. Sweet potatoes. Don't know what I'm gonna do with these yet, but they will stay good for a long time in my pantry. I picked up that bag of Honeycrisp apples. Like you can see how much more reasonably sized these are. Like this 2-pound bag has 5 apples in it, which is perfect for a week. I'm not kidding when I tell you that when I try to buy Honeycrisp apples at H-E-B, 1 apple is a pound. At least 3/4 of a pound, but usually closer to a pound. Anyway, been a long time since we've done like a grocery haul thing together. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys a little bit later for a weigh-in and a little chat about how I'm feeling about my weight loss. Spoiler alert, it's not great. So just kind of want to have an honest conversation about my weight. Let's start with the positive. Last week when I came home from California, I was not feeling great. I was tired. I was exhausted actually, but I still made a meal plan. Even though I didn't get meal prep done on Sunday, I still made sure that I made the food throughout the week so that I could stay on track with eating healthier. This weekend, I still wasn't feeling good. I started my cycle on Sunday and I had a massive headache. I was exhausted. I just felt like I was coming down with something. And so I didn't feel up to doing meal prep on Sunday when I was supposed to do it, but I still meal prepped the things that I had planned on for my meal plan throughout the week. In the past, when I haven't done things perfectly or exactly as I had planned them, I have a tendency to just kind of throw in the baby out with the bathwater. Like, oh, well, I didn't do my meal prep on Sunday. I guess I'm just going to eat trash for the rest of the week and I'll just start over again on Monday. So I'm proud of myself for not doing that. I'm proud of myself for staying on track with those things. In spite of me doing that, my average for the week after coming back from California and then eating well throughout the week and staying on track with my workouts and all of that, before I left for California, my weekly average was 258.6. Last week, my average was 275.6, which means I gained 17 pounds while I was in California, which is about what I gained over 3 months of eating poorly when everything started going downhill with Richard's job. And I don't know how to explain that. I have still lost a total of 89.8 pounds from where I started in October of 2021. So that's still a win, and I'm trying to hold on to that. But the truth is that even in California, I wasn't eating enough calories to gain that kind of weight. There are between 3,400 and 3,700 calories per pound of body fat. So I would have had to consume that on top of the 2,400 to 2,700 calories a day that my body needs just to function. I know for a fact I was not consuming 6,000 calories a day. I know for a fact I was. In fact, I would have had to have been consuming more than 6,000 calories a day. I would have had to have been consuming like 7,000 to 10,000 calories a day. And I know I was not doing that while I was there. In addition, I was more active while I was there. I wasn't going to the gym, but I was more active in general. So I'm just really just in general, and it's not just the 2 weeks that I was in California while I was on vacation. Like, I was prepared for the fact that I was going to gain weight and that I would gain a lot of it because I was eating out a lot. There's a lot of sodium and a lot of carbohydrates in food that you eat out, and carbohydrates are hygroscopic. So like they absorb water. For every gram of carbohydrate you eat, you store 3 to 4 grams of water. So obviously I was eating a lot more carbs while I was there. So that has an effect. Obviously the extra sodium. I started my period this week. So I was, premenstrual last week. So that there's water involved there. But I'm just in this place where mentally I feel like unless I do everything perfectly all the time, I'm doomed to be in this cycle of weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain. And I'm never going to do it perfectly. I'm not capable of perfection. I'm just not. No matter how much I want to be and I strive to be and I wish I was, I'm just not. And it just feels like I'm either doomed to be eternally unhappy because I'm fat or eternally unhappy because I'm trying not to be fat. It's like, because in the moments where I'm just enjoying my life and not thinking about weight loss, when I return to thinking about my health and thinking about weight loss, inevitably I have just put on a massive amount of weight. And I know that that's not the case for everybody. And I don't understand why it has to be that way for me. And I'm not claiming to be a victim here. Like, I know that I ate things, like I didn't make 100% the best choices 100% of the time while I was on vacation, and I shouldn't have to. Like, I should be able to enjoy that time and just come back and be okay with the fact that I gained some weight and just go back and do the things that I need to do, but I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of having to think about it all the time and focus on it all the time. And just, I know so many people that, at least it seems like on the outside, and when I talk to them about it, this isn't the focus of their entire existence. And I don't want it to be the focus of my existence. Anyway, I already know that I'm going to hear in the comments from certain people that I did this to me and that I should just suck it up and deal with the consequences of my actions. But I don't know how to look in the face of this and not feel defeated. It's just kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm sure my period is not helping. But I have an appointment with my psychologist tomorrow, and I'm going to talk to her about it, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to walk through it. I'm a little nervous about it because every time I talk to her about food, I feel like she offers me diet advice, and I need to tell her that that's not helpful. It's just really hard for me to confront that, and to say, hey, look, I know what I need to do for the diet. I know I have a dietitian to help me with that. What I need your help with is the mindset part. I've been thinking more and more about going back on a Wegovy. But there's so much of me that's terrified that it's not going to work the same again. Just having a rough week. And I'm so sorry to end it on this note, but I really just don't know what else to say. And I don't know how to perk up and just be happy right now. Thankfully, my husband is coming home tonight because I could really use a hug. Anyway, thank you guys for being here through the good and the bad and the ugly, and for sticking with me even though I am a complete and total hot mess. I love you, and I will see you guys in the next one.
I've been climbing this hill so long, every step feels like a fight. Sweat drips down, but I'm still here, chasing shadows in the light.